I have so much great stuff to share with you today. Every single thing that I try to find an alternative for is something that I think is really, really good. So it's always like, woohoo, when you find something that kind of matches it. So if you're new, I hope you'll consider subscribing. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for being here today. Okay, let's get into it. First thing I want to start with is a skincare item. This is Hydrinity. It is a brand you may have seen. It's relatively new, beautiful brand. I have the mist that I bought, and I also have their HA serum, and I bought them both, and I think they're both beautiful. The mist is essentially a hypochlorous acid mist. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know I've talked about hypochlorous acid, and it really, really got big during the pandemic because it is antimicrobial, it is antibacterial, and it's really, really good for disinfecting surfaces when it's in higher concentrations. Its lower concentrations are what we use on our skin. There were no hypochlorous acid solutions, or there was like one or two just a couple of years ago. Now there's a bunch more on the market, probably because of the necessity, people tuning in to the ingredient during the pandemic. I went so far during the pandemic as to buy a hypochlorous acid maker. I would make my own hypochlorous acid and I would clean my house with it. I would do my doorknobs, I would do the surfaces, all of that, because it was a really great way to disinfect without using bleach necessarily. Anyway, onto the market comes all of these antimicrobial, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory skin products with hypochlorous acid. Now this one from Hydrinity, like I said, is really beautiful. It's $60 and it's 3 ounces and it has a gorgeous sprayer. I will use this because every once in a while I also break out, especially along, this area, I will break out, and I know that a hypochlorous acid spray is going to help me with that. This can also be really helpful with eczema and, like I said, acne, and it's just anti-inflammatory, so it's good for all of us for that. Now this one, like I said, is $60 for 3 ounces. There are others on the market that are more affordable and are just as nice. If you are somebody who has been interested in this product, it's important for you to know that that's what it is. It's hypochlorous acid, and you can find it less expensively. Number one is the Hypo 3 eczema spray. Now they say eczema spray because hypochlorous acid and saline is really good to help with eczema. Is it a miracle? No, it's not a miracle, but it is one of those things that can help with that inflammatory skin condition, and it's just a really nice way to augment any treatment you're doing for eczema, for itchy skin, and for acne, etc. Any inflammatory situation. It can help with rosacea, pustules, that kind of thing. Definitely hypochlorous acid can be very, very helpful. So the Hypo 3 eczema spray is a great option. It is 3.4 ounces and it is $13. Now another one that I want to share with you, it's hypochlorous acid spray. Looks like this. This one is a little bit more, it has a few more ingredients, so it's not just hypochlorous acid, but I really, really like this one. This one also comes in a sprayer, kind of like the Hydrinity. It's a nice sprayer. Now this one has hypochlorous acid in it, of course. Then it has sodium chloride, which so does this one. This one also has chamomile, which is nice and calming. This also has hyaluronic acid, so it has a humectant that's gonna help to hydrate a little bit. I picked this one up on Amazon and it's $19.95. This one is 8 ounces. So $20 for 8 ounces. There are some studies lots of studies actually, that talk about hypochlorous acid. They compare it to other antimicrobial, antibacterial type of things. And hypochlorous acid is definitely effective in pre and post wound care. So those are some really excellent alternatives to this Hydrinity spray. If you have seen this and you've been curious about it, it's beautiful, but it's pretty expensive at 3 ounces for $60. You can definitely get more for your money elsewhere. I bet you've probably seen the Miracle, I think this is called Miracle Balm? Miracle Balm from Jones Rhode. Now, the one that I think is a relative dupe looks like this. And this one, I've tested all of them now. This one is smaller by a long ways compared to the Jones Rhode. Here's the deal. This one is about a third the size of the Jones Rhode. So really, over time, it is about the same amount of money. However, I will tell you, there's no way I'm ever gonna get through all of this product from Jones Rhode before it goes bad. Absolutely no way. It is huge, which is nice. That's really great that they did not, you know, they didn't scrimp on the amount, but it's just a lot. I mean, you can't go through that. So if you're somebody who's really been interested in trying this, but you didn't want to splurge on it, this one's around $13. So I was able to pick up every single color of this guy. So I think that if you're a normal makeup user, or you know, you're like me, this size is much more reasonable, and I may not get through it in my lifetime. Seriously, it's still a ton of product. And it allows me the ability to try multiple colors. The deal with these balms is that they're almost like a gloss. You warm it up in between your fingers, and then you apply it anywhere you want a little bit of a sheen. Hopefully you'll be able to see. So that's the Jones Rhode. That is actually Magic Hour. Magic Hour is definitely my favorite of all of the Jones Rhode balms. But the other colors, the BayFree had definitely similar type colors that I don't think anybody's gonna totally be able to tell the difference between the BayFree or the Jones Rhode. So if you are somebody who's been interested in that Miracle Balm from Jones Rhode, definitely check out the BayFree. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about some hair care. The Amika products. These are so fantastic. I'm able to get these actually at the beauty supply. So I'm able to get these at a discount, but they are not inexpensive hair care products. The dry shampoo, for example, is so beautiful. It smells so delicious, and I actually think the smell is one of the things that is like yummy about it. Anyway, Amika, the brand that makes Amika, also makes Eva-Nyc. Now, it's really just important to know that because Eva-Nyc is sold over the counter at Target. You can get it on Amazon, that kind of thing, and it is definitely a fraction. It is less than half the cost of Amika. Just look at the packaging. Can't you tell that somebody's aesthetic is shared here between these two? I don't know. I just feel like they look very similar. You can kind of tell. This one is the Intense Moisture Leave-In Conditioner from Amika here. And this is the Eva-Nyc Main Magic 10-in-1 Conditioner. Okay, very similar leave-in conditioner type product. Another one would be the Amika, the Wizard Detangling Primer. Okay. And then this is the Eva-Nyc Main Magic 10-in-1 Primer. I do want to tell you that if you love the smell of Amika and you're thinking that the Eva-Nyc is going to have that same smell, it doesn't. It smells really good, but it smells completely different. So they definitely don't share that, but they share a lot of the really great properties of good hair care, and it's worth knowing about. If Amika is out of your range or you don't want to spend the money on that, you might want to check out the Eva-Nyc. I want to talk to you a little bit about hair loss, and I'm getting ready to do an entire video on my own personal hair loss. I am basically balding on the side of my head. It's a thing. I know that it is multifaceted as far as the reasons why. Number one, I've had extensions for way too long, so I took them all out on the sides of my head, which is kind of why my hair looks like this right here. And now I only have extensions starting like way back here and around the back. I took a lot of my extensions out, and I literally have none in the front here. None here. I did that on purpose because I need to give that hair a rest, because I was getting something called traction alopecia. I had put some, I had put a little bit of tension on that hair for too long. Secondly, stress. I had a very, very close family member just a couple of months ago in the ICU. I stayed in the hospital for between 1 and 2 weeks with that person and literally slept on a chair. It was a very, very stressful time. And I feel like I started to reap the effects of that in my hair probably a month after, I started noticing some hair fall and stuff like that, and I attribute it to that high stress time in my life. I am going to get my vitamin D levels checked because that can be a factor in hair loss. So there's so many reasons for hair loss, and so if you are experiencing that, I really recommend that you talk to a specialist about it and try to get to the root of why you're losing your hair. But I do want to share with you what I'm going to do to work on my thinning hair, and I'm gonna put up a picture here of the side of my head so you can kind of get an idea. And I want you to take into consideration that what you see, like the pulled back part of my hair, this part of my hair, is not my hair, it's extensions. So, and I don't have any trouble with thinning in the back of my hair. I mean, at least it doesn't seem like it when I get my extensions out. The hair's fine and all that. It's really kind of right here and right here that I'm noticing that it is getting super thin to where you can see through to my scalp. That is a little concerning to me, and I want to treat that. So what I'm going to do, and what I'm going to also share with you, and so, you know, maybe you can investigate this, is I'm going to do some stamping with a stamper, kind of like a derma roller, only it stamps. Now, the product that I'm going to use right in this area, because I'm going to test and compare to something else I'm about to share with you, is the Calecim. This is their advanced hair system. Now, this was sent to me, and I appreciate that so much from the brand. I am going to test this out because I have a few friends here on YouTube who have tried it, and they really like the results. They think that it's really helping them. Okay, so I have that from Calecim. If it does something for my hair, then it will be money well spent when I have to rebuy it, because it does say on their site that you might have to do more than one round of 6 weeks. So that's pretty expensive. So this was sent to me, but if I want to continue to use it, I will have to repurchase it, okay? So what I'm gonna do here, which actually is what bothers me the most, is I'm actually going to use a stamper that I bought from Dr. Penn. I bought it on Amazon. I think it's actually probably better than the Calecim stamper because that one is locked at 0.5 millimeters. This one actually has a dial, so I can change the needles, so I can change the depth of the needles, which I really do like because I may actually up the depth to 0.75 or even 1. I'm gonna kind of play around with it. I'm gonna really try to dive into where the studies show the most efficacy as far as stamping the scalp, and I'm gonna share all of that with you in a video. I'm gonna stamp the sides with the Dr. Penn, and I'm gonna use a minoxidil product on the sides of my head at night before bed. Now I'm going to use this product, I'm going to stamp before I clean my skin so that if anything, you know, gets onto my facial skin, it will get washed away with my nightly skincare, you know, regimen of cleansing. I highly recommend that little tip. I'm going to share all of this in my actual dedicated video to this, but I actually bought the minoxidil from Target brand, and it is a lot less expensive. Now there are other brands that make minoxidil, so I would say that altogether this is 3 months worth. I have several bottles of this. It comes in a box like this, and it comes with droppers that go with these guys, right? So these come with a little dropper. Well, I'm not planning to use it that way. I'm actually going to take a little spray bottle, and I'm gonna put the Target minoxidil into the spray bottle. I feel like that will be a better way to apply the product than trying to drip it in to the sides of my head. I'm gonna stamp first and then immediately spray in little parted off sections, as little as I possibly can, so that I don't get too goopy on the sides of my head. That's my plan. Let me tell you that the knockoff minoxidil and the Dr. Penn stamper is like a fifth or less. It's way less expensive than the Calecim system. Okay, so there are some caveats. There are people that cannot use minoxidil. I got the men's version, 5%. If you are a woman who is anywhere considering having children, or if you could have children, definitely something you want to talk to a doctor, you want to investigate, you want to research and make sure that you are okay to use minoxidil before you do. Really, really, really important that just because I am doesn't mean that you should. This is something that you have to research yourself for real. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do, but this is an amazing alternative to a thinning hair treatment, guys. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, even more than the minoxidil itself, along with the Dr. Penn stamper, would be a fraction of the cost of the Calecim. But then you take it even further by getting a generic, if you will, minoxidil. Great combination to use with a stamper. So that is another really great affordable alternative, if you ask me. Okay, another affordable alternative or amazing alternative is going to be Rhode Beauty. Now, you probably already saw my video on Rhode. I think that this one's coming out after. But this is the Peptide Glazing Fluid. I shared this in another video, you guys, but I think that the Dermatology Water Cream Moisturizer is an absolutely amazing alternative. This does have acetylhexapeptide 8 in it. It does have that one peptide, which is a great ingredient. It's going to help to hydrate the skin and soften the skin and pull water to the skin and all of that good stuff. And the Dermatology does not have that. The Dermatology does have the water and the glycerin, similar, and then it has green tea and it has aloe. This does not have green tea and it does not have aloe. The point, though, of the amazing alternative is they are so incredibly similar when you put them on, the way they make your skin feel, the effect that they have on your skin, and yet this one is 1.7 ounces. This is 3.77 ounces. So this one is $37, but there's always a discount on Dermatology. Once you use that discount that always exists, 20% off, this one is $29.40. This one is $29 to start. So, and no discounts. So they are the same price and they are very much different in the size. I will show you the, and this one has a funny package. If you have problems with your hands, I said this in my other video, the Rhode, they need to work on the pump. So let's compare the consistency, because I tell you guys, they are practically identical. The Rhode is on top, Dermatology is on the bottom. If you watch the Rhode, do you see how it disappears into a very thin, watery consistency? Same thing for the Dermatology. I mean, the Dermatology might have the tiniest bit more moisture to it than the Rhode. The Rhode might be ever so slightly thinner, maybe. It's really hard to tell, but they are really, really similar. I've worn them like side by side and I can't tell the difference. And the difference in price is huge for per ounce. It is a big, big difference per ounce. I gotta say that the Rhode is a gorgeous product, and actually this might go along with me like on trips or whatever, because it is so tiny. I might use this as kind of like a travel size of the Dermatology until this runs out, but then I'm not gonna repurchase it, because seriously, it's like it's my Dermatology Water Cream Moisturizer. So that's another amazing alternative in my opinion. The last thing that I want to share with you, and I can't find the one that is the more expensive version. It's here somewhere. I wanted to tell you, when you're looking at tools and they come from a brand you love, Biologique Recherche, let's see, Hydropeptide, L'Allure, several of these brands have this that I'm about to show you, and they all are just branding a tool that is super cheap to begin with. The margins are incredible. This is by the brand Pfefe, so Pfefe maybe? Anyway, it's these little spoon shaped, they're filled with, you can hear that? They're filled with water. You keep them in the freezer. They freeze up, and then they are fantastic for doing massage, a cold massage. I absolutely love these kind of, I have the L'Allure, but they're all exactly the same. They are the same. These were like $22, $23, something like that. I bought them on Amazon. They are identical to this more expensive L'Allure. The point here is, anytime you see some of those glass globes, if you see these kind of things, just look, type in what they are into Amazon or something and look, because undoubtedly you will be able to find a dupe, an exact dupe at a much lower price. It's so much about the brand. There's nothing remarkable or special about the one from Biologique, about the one from Hydropeptide, or about the one from L'Allure. They're all the same. It sounds like maracas now. And you don't need to overpay for that. You just don't. And so these were one of those affordable alternatives or amazing alternatives. As a category, I just recommend always search, because there's no difference whatsoever, and you can save a bunch of money that way. All right, you guys, those are my affordable or amazing alternatives for now. I probably have forgotten some, but let me know if you have anything that you found recently that totally rivals something higher end that you love. And again, I want to reiterate, every single thing that I tried to find an amazing alternative for is something that I really like. And so everything that I showed you is a wonderful thing. It's just really it's kind of important to know that you can save money and you can find things that are very similar to expensive things lots of times. Sometimes you just can't find a dupe for something. Sometimes there are things that are so unique and so incredible, and they just don't have, there is no dupe, or there is nothing that compares to it. That happens all the time too. But when you can, you might as well save a few dollars, right? I hope that you're having a really, really wonderful week. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.